It's just because I think that God was calling me a path for my life, and I don't regret it, and I wouldn't change it. But I don't think that you guys are in the same place that I was. Yeah, no.
Let me ask you, did you by any chance write at some point before you were 14 how you wanted your husband to be?
That's funny because all I wanted was to get married. All I wanted was a husband that was gonna sweep my feet. I was a little girl that would play wedding all day. I was born to be a wife and a mother. I'm not kidding you. This what I'm doing is exactly what I was supposed to do. So when he came and he swept me on my feet and he told me that he was going to take care of me and that God was going to be the center of our lives, and my parents said, well, you need to buy a house and you need to buy a car and she needs to be able to finish school, and he did check, 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 and they said, okay. And we did a big fat wedding. We were engaged for a whole year. We did a whole honeymoon. We did not, it was not a picnic in my parents' backyard and we didn't go to Disney. We did the grown-up 7-week honeymoon in, I'm sorry, 7-day honeymoon in Jamaica. We did all the bells and whistles. We were grown up. Now, if you guys are making over, then it was like $30,000. Right now, if you're making $50,000, $60,000 and you find a wife that wants to get married, then talk with your parents. I'm like, you know what I mean? If you're in that situation where life is, you are just dealt this hand where you know for sure, then every situation is unique. But I don't know everyone here, but I don't think it's in the same situation.
Well, the point that I wanted to make when I asked you that was is that who in here wants to date that person that you're gonna marry with without, like she was saying, without picking or allowing somebody to grab your heart, break it, and then go to the next and the next. Who in here, raise your hand if you want to just date that Prince Charm or that princess. Raise your hand if that's what you want to do.
Who's looking for the one
Who's
true
looking
love?
for the one true love?
Who's looking for that? Or who wants to sample all 31 flavors of Baskin Robbins?
If you're not raising your hand, that means that you never want to have a husband or a wife. Okay.
Who's looking for the Mr. Right or Mrs. Right? Everyone, right?
Everyone, right?
Not right now, Chiquina, but eventually.
No. I'm talking about eventually in the future, like not right now.
Yeah. Whose ultimate goal is to end up with Mrs. Right or Mr. Right? Everyone, right?
Okay. I'm gonna give you my secret because this is what my aunt, she told me when I was 25. She says, Nicole, if you write down how you want your husband or wife, and you ask God, obviously, depending, as you grow older, there's things that you're gonna be like, oh, maybe I don't want this.
Maybe I don't, because you change and mature.
Right. And so I wrote exactly how I wanted my husband, Louis, to God, and he was actually better than what I wrote. So I feel bad for him because he didn't request me. So
He did pretty good. He did pretty good.
But so if you write down how you want, you can identify when that person comes, and you can know that you match your paper and the design, and you can say, okay, this is the guy because you have all the check marks. If there's stuff that is missing there, then that's not the right person. So you can always go back and say, okay, God, is this the one? And you can look back and look and just and like Richard was saying, when you declare, so you're declaring that whatever you're writing on that paper, it's going to pass. You're saying, Lord, I want him to be righteous. I want him to love you. I want him to adore you. I want him for you to be the center, because that's one of the things that I said. I want Louis, well, I didn't know his name at the time.
Question.
But I said, I want him to love you more than anything. And he does. So, this story here, it's not just here, but it's in my life, and it's in other, I have friends too, that after I got married, they wrote down how they wanted their future husband, and now I've gone to their weddings. I've gone to 3 weddings after my wedding of people like that. So I want to go to your weddings too.
Amen, me too. So we're not here to say, go out, get married. I was 16, you guys should do it. That's not my intention. That's why when everybody asks me, I'm like, I was 16. It's worked for me. So I don't know what to say to you guys. I say, you're not ready. I know you guys aren't ready. None of you are in that place. I'm telling you, I don't.
What we want you to take, guys, is the principles that we taught.
What has worked for
Okay,
us.
the principles that we started with the Bible, look of God first, and everything else will be added to you. Another thing, guys, honor your parents. I know that sometimes we think these crazy old people because we see them as crazy. I know my son sometimes calls me old, even though I still feel like a kid. He plays around. But honor your parents. They love you, guys. Honor them. Talk to them. You know, be happy that you have them now. You know what I mean? When your parents' heart is broken, it hurts them. You know what I mean? And they're there for you. You know what I mean? Take that guidance from them. Okay? There's gonna be a point, guys, that you don't break no more your parents' heart. You know that? You know when that is?
When they've already gone to heaven.
When they already got to heaven. I was thinking that the other day. I was listening to something. I could never break my dad's heart no more. You know why I could never break my dad's heart no more? Because he's not here no more.
Your parents are always gonna seek the best thing for you.
They're gonna seek the best thing. Don't and I'm not telling you this like a bad thing. I'm telling you this as how important. I want you to think how important your parents are.
Trust their judgment. Trust their opinion. The rules for your household do not supersede anything we've talked here today.
Yeah.
These are what God has put in our heart, what God has allowed to work for us. The rules of your house are the rules of your house. In my opinion, if my mom would have said, you are not allowed to see Paul anymore, I would have respected that, and Paul would have respected that. We did not belong to ourselves. We belonged to God and to our parents until Paul took ownership over my heart and said, I am going to be responsible for her. And until that day, Paul did not have the right to make decisions for me, and he did not ask me to disrespect the rules of my household. That's why we have a good family relationship, because while we were dating, Paul was respectful of my parents, and I was respectful of his parents. These people could be your future in-laws. Respect them. Respect their rules. Oh, okay, we're done. Okay, Paula, last question, go. No, it's fine. Go ahead. It's fine. Joseph, you have a question? Robert, what's your question? Go put it. I can't see it. Oh, that's my dad. Oh my God, you guys are so mean.
That was
Okay.
the person I was very scared of.
Who else had a question? Anybody else? I saw a hand. Okay, no questions? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I mean, like,
It's for him, a cop thing. I get it.
yeah.
He's more interesting. I got it.
One,
Hold on. His question and then Marty's questions.
have you ever died?
Um, during your years
I'll ask you a question.
during your years of being a cop, have you ever made a mistake, and has someone ever suffered because of your mistake?
Ooh.
I think right now, if I've ever done a mistake,
Like, as in, have you ever like missed a specific timing where someone got shot or someone got hurt because of your wrong timing or something?
every time you get somewhere, and maybe I'm remembering this one. There was an old man, 68, 60, not that old, and his son gets there. Maybe if I would have got him 5 minutes early, I would have probably saved him. I did CPR on him, and I was able to get a heartbeat, but it was so late that by the time they took him to the hospital, no, no way. But you know what? I just remember one time. I maybe had about 2 years in the department. I get called. The call goes out as there was a domestic issue. The mother calls and says, "Go check the welfare of my daughter. I haven't heard from her. She's having a problem with a strange boyfriend of hers. That she's been
Estranged means ex.
ex, and I haven't heard from her." I remember I used to be the firecracker. Anything that happened, España's there. That's my last name.
He would take off running.
I would take off running.
Leave me wherever and just go.
I was always there, and I remember, and I always used to say this. I'm a little heavy now, but I used to be as skinny as Joseph over there, with uniform and everything. Maybe I weighed 160 with all that gear, but people used to respect me because angels were with me. That's the only way I could always see it. But I used to be that first guy there, and I remember arriving to that house. As I'm arriving to that house, I hear pop, pop, coming out of that house, shooting. I'm the first unit getting in that house. And, I'm hearing shots inside the house. We're coordinating to go in. The other guys jump the fence. And as they jump the fence, pop, pop, again, more shots coming out. I was a rookie, so they left, hey, rookie, you stay in front of that door, and if somebody comes out, you shoot them. Because the older guys, they went to the back. They thought they were Superman, but they kept jumping back. But we finally break the window, we go inside, but when we went inside, it was too late. I remember they ran to the back to try to see what was going on. I was clearing the house, and as I look up, I remember this 5-year-old, never forget her face, little black female, 5 years old, with little, they have the little, the little braids. I remember looking at her, looking up, and running towards her, getting her and carrying her down. You know, uh, I couldn't sleep for like 2 weeks. You know, knowing that maybe 10, 15 minutes earlier, I probably saved that lady's life.
Who was the lady? Her mom?
Her mom got killed. The guy killed her. And then he tried to kill himself, and he didn't even have the guts to do that because he moved the gun and he just blew up his eye. His eye was hanging out when he was there. But I always, I remember for weeks I was like, man, and I remember seeing that little girl's face, and I still think about it and I never forget it. I always, think about that little face of that little girl up the stairs, and it was it's tough. It's tough being a cop. A lot of people say, how come cops, me is different because I'm in Christ and things are different. And the greatest thing that I have is that I come to church, I leave all my troubles here, and that's the only way I can make it. But it is not normal to see people dying every day. It is not normal to get to accidents and see people dismembered. It is not normal to hear stories of little girls that are 4 and 5 years old that they got raped by their dad. It's not normal, but I hear that every day. And that's why a lot of cops that don't meet Christ, my best friend, one of my best friends that I work with, auto theft, retires a year, and at the age of 51 he passes away because your life as a cop is so stressful, it's so hard, for the things that you see. I remember seeing a number. There's bad things that regular folks see in their life. It's like, I forgot what the number was, but they see moments of bad in their life is maybe like, I forget the number, but it was a very small time that you go, a percentage that you go through a bad thing in your life. Like traumatic experience, like a normal person. Cops see it every day, and that's why it gets affected. Okay, now I'm going to answer your question. What was
Didmari's question?
No, it was, I forgot. Have I ever been shot at?
Paola's question, has Paul ever been shot at?
Okay. Okay.
Have you almost died? He died.
Yeah, he died. No, let me tell you something, guys. I just finished the academy. This is my 6th week, because when you finish the academy, you're 4 months driving with a cop next to you, and he's like evaluating you.
Like a testing stage.
He didn't look at that guy the right way, or he didn't take notes the right way, whatever. So that guy's evaluating you every day. But I remember it was my 2nd week by myself, and I feel cool. I got that police car by myself. I had the jitters of being
the big ego.
The big ego. I'm Superman type of thing. And they give the first call that goes out. I remember 6 o'clock Sunday afternoon. I get this call. They say shots fired in the air. I go, oh man, look what they give me. They give me shots fired in the air. That's nothing. So I remember the address was 4215 Northwest 167th Street. Never forget it. There's a reason why I never forget it. I get there. When I get there, this guy tells me, man, this guy just went through the palmetto. It's right on top of the palmetto, and he shot a couple of rounds up in the sky, and he told me that he was going to kill me because, I reported to the police that he robbed me because he had robbed him $300. So I go, okay, let me verify that. Do you have a case number for that call? Gives me the case number. I'm running it, and as I'm running it, pop, 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 again, the shot going at it. I remember. Let me tell you something, guys. You see how you see in the movies that you see the blood.
He was in the Matrix.
Yeah, I was in the Matrix. You see the little blood. I remember seeing a bullet go like this, hits the guy that's standing next to me. The guy that called. Pop! I see the blood, and it's weird. It's the most weirdest thing in the world. I don't know if there is some scientific things, whatever. And I remember I go for my gun. I remember, and I'm seeing this guy pass by. Pop, pop, and I see the bullets. You see the little fires flying. You know what I mean? It's like the weirdest thing, Hits the back of it. I'm on the ground trying to take cover, whatever. And then the guy leaves. So I almost got killed. And let me tell you something. That night at home, I remember my kids were small. And I was like, man, I can't go to work. I'm scared. I can't. This is scary. I can't. Whatever. Can I do that? But let me tell you something. You know why I got up, dressed the next day, and went back to work? My dad was a great dad. My dad taught me good. He says, a man always gets up and goes to work and does what's right. And I went to work, and what I'm trying to say is my dad taught me how to be a man. And at that moment, I got dressed. And I went to work the next day.
Yeah.
And 15 years later, I'm still here.
What was your question, Paula? Say it. Yeah, they caught the guy. He went to jail.
His name was Rafael Colada. He's serving 25 years in
For
prison
shooting at a police officer.
for attempted murder on a police officer.
Okay, Noah, you have a question. You what? Oh, you need a mic. Judy needs a mic. Run, Judy, run. I don't know why you're sitting down. I'm paying her all night and she's sitting.
If I'm your wife's mom said no, what would you do?
If my mom had
If your
said
grandma
no,
would have said no,
you wouldn't have been here. Now,
would
if when we were dating, my mom would not have allowed me to date Paul, we wouldn't have dated. It was just I knew that they were in charge and and I trusted their opinion. I tell that to my teenagers, trust your parents' opinion. They want the best for you. Do not go against your parents. That is not honoring God. God will not bless a relationship. Don't do the Romeo and Juliet. We're meant to be. You're not meant to be. If your parents are saying no, it's not meant to be. They are the authority in your household. They are God in that household.
honor them. Part of the, that's one of the
It's the
tests.
deal. Just let it go. They're in
One
charge.
of the commandments. Honor your parents. You do that, and you're gonna have a great life. You're gonna have the Bible talks about that. Honor your dad.
Are we ready for small group? Are you guys getting restless? Restless? Oh. Okay. Judy, what group do you have? Judy is gonna take everybody that's high school and above. Go with Judy and Nati.
Hold on, but we're separating by girls.
Girls with Judy.
Girls school girls
High
with
school and
Judy.
beyond, Nati and Judy? Okay. So Nati and Judy will take all high school girls or beyond. Yeah, they have a separate room. Mildred has the keys. This is your time to ask the questions that you are just aching. It's your private time. We're not going to fax the questions to your parents. Don't worry about it.
Nobody's gonna know.
Dacio has the high school and after boys.
Yes.
There's a few. Dacio's room is the Cubby's room. Mildred, can you open Cubby's for Dacio? Follow Mildred to Cubby's. This is Dacio. He's Promise University leader. He is here to tear it up with your questions. Dacio's in the house. Dacio has been through it all, seen it all. He knows everybody. He wrote the book. He rewrote it in Spanish. Oh, the eating will come.
Follow Dacio. He's the one.
Dacio,
raise your hand. Follow him right over there.
He's gonna go too. So go.
I'll be with him. So go over there.
Okay, if you are in middle school, you are with Mildred and Yvonne. Middle school girls are with Mildred and Yvonne. And middle school boys are with Pablo. Go with him. Paul, go with him. Take him. If you're lost, ask me. Pablo is taking the middle school boys. You are middle school girls. The middle school girls are with your leader, with Mildred and Yvonne. You're bailing? You don't want to hang out for a little? Get snacks or snacks in the kitchen. No! Are you going home or are you going to see your sister in the hotel? What? You going to see your sister? Middle school boys. We're here because we're all grown up. Go with Pablo. Pablo, you have middle school boys. High school boys follow Joseph. If you're a high school boy, go that way. The men. You go with middle school boys that way. What are you guys doing? You going to middle school boys? Jesus, middle school boys, let's go. Does everybody know where they're going? Let's go. Come. It's cool.
So you hit it with your hands? Nice. It's kind of like those.